We often view the massive technology platforms of today as the inevitable result of a flawless, visionary master plan. The actual work looks far messier. Paul Graham, founder of ViaWeb, notes that real productivity doesn't happen at clean desks during office hours. It happens in offices strewn with junk at 2 in the morning, often by people who feel like imposters. Most famous companies look nothing like their original concepts. Giants like Flickr and PayPal reached success only after abandoning their initial business models in favor of something they hadn't planned for. This lack of a linear path is the defining characteristic of a startup. Success depends on navigating this messiness rather than trying to plan around it. For founders, this inherent uncertainty carries a heavy psychological cost. Without a blueprint, every day feels like a struggle to find solid ground. James Courier, the founder of Tickle, recalled waking up at 4 in the morning with his chest burning from fear. He realized his original plan was failing. He didn't know how to fix it, and he was in over his head. Even intense technical effort can lead to a dead end. At PayPal, engineers spent months perfecting complex cryptography for handheld devices, a sophisticated tool that almost nobody ended up wanting. Survival dictates the agenda in this early stage. A founder focuses on staying afloat within the vacuum of the unknown just long enough to find a viable path. Launching quickly forces a necessary collision with reality. It is the only way to move from theory into actual data. That collision usually brings immediate rejection. When Sabir Bhatia pitched the idea for web-based email, venture capitalists shot them down because they couldn't see why hardware engineers would be building software. Beyond the skeptics, a launch brings operational crises. Early in PayPal's history, industry experts warned that fraud would destroy the company before it could ever scale. Max Levchin saw the fraud rate growing toward 10%, a level that would kill the company. To survive, his team had to ignore traditional banking methods and invent their own system for assessing risk. These rejections and crises provide the painful friction needed to test a startup's durability in the real world. This cycle forms the engine of adaptation. It turns failure into progress by continuously moving from idea to building, testing, and adjusting. PayPal used this to abandon its Palm Pilot product, noticing eBay users preferred the web version, pivoting to follow demand. Katarina Fake and her team at Ludicorp experienced a similar shift. They struggled to build a complex multiplayer game that was falling further behind schedule. While the game stalled, they noticed that a small side feature for photo sharing was generating intense organic interest from their users. They observed this emergent behavior and moved the entire company to serve it, leading to the launch of Flickr. Success depends on empathy for the user, the willingness to listen to what the market actually does, rather than trying to enforce an original plan. The relentless strain of this feedback loop requires a strong support structure. This pressure is why solo founders often find the experience overwhelming. PayPal's co-founders balanced each other's psychological state. When one felt paralyzed by a crisis, the other would use logic and mental puzzles to keep the team from falling into a collective panic. These founders point to persistence as the most vital quality for survival. Long-term success relies on the ability to endure continuous setbacks without losing sight of the goal. A startup is a test of emotional resilience. Survival depends on a team's collective ability to tolerate pain and adapt their thinking under pressure. A startup functions as a learning loop. Its primary purpose is to process uncertainty and convert it into knowledge as quickly as possible. The initial idea provides the catalyst to begin. It's the starting point that allows the cycle of testing and iteration to activate. Resilience here means something specific: the rapid attempt at different variations based on real-world data and user feedback. This approach replaces the urge to stick with a failing plan with a commitment to react to what is actually happening. This adaptive logic offers a framework for handling uncertainty in any environment where the rules are still being written. It prioritizes evidence over assumptions. No founder possesses the foresight to predict the future with perfect accuracy. Instead of trying to plan the future, they build an engine capable of adapting to it. They survive long enough to let the future reveal itself.